Hello, everybody. Hi! Welcome to the Kathie J Show, giving you a big hug through the screen. How are you today? I'm Kathie J. Thanks for hanging out with me this half hour. Remember, you can have Kathie J whenever you want. I got a YouTube channel. You just got to go to Kathie J, the YouTube channel, or we have a website, KathieJShow.com. There's a place to send viewer emails there. There's a place for the gallery of all the guests we have. And, of course, any episodes you might have missed is right there. All right, so today we're talking about the beautiful tragedy known as adoption. And I say those words, beautiful tragedy, because that's what my guest today has called it. She's known as the worst, best advocate for adoption in the foster care system, but she's lived it, everybody. Welcome to the show, the founder and executive director of Foster Source. This is Renee Bernhard. Yay!
Thank you.
I'm sorry, you're the one that told me that, and I just love repeating it.
Yes.
You've been referred to by counties as the worst advocate for foster care.
The state and the counties are like, shh. You're a terrible recruiter of foster parents.
So we're going to get into why, because I think you're the best recruiter. Okay, so let's start out with who you are, Renee.
Well, I'm Renee Bernhard, and I grew up in Eaton. And
she's an Eaton girl, everybody.
Class of '89.
Yay!
My husband and I, like a lot of people, always had in the back of our head, we should foster.
You did, okay, right. But, you got lots of love to give.
That. We should help, and then, go back to watching Friends or whatever.
Right.
And then a foster family moved in down the street.
Okay.
And we met the 3 kids, and they were incredible.
Uh-huh.
These kids were so awesome, and we were like, we
can
need
do
to
this.
do this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we certified, and then we said, okay, put us on the list, give us one, and make it an easy one, because we're trying to set ourselves up for success here. That was at noon. Okay.
Okay.
3 o'clock that same day, we had a newborn. And we had said ages 11 and under, right?
Wow.
Because we had a 5-year-old and a 12-year-old.
You had your own children in the house at the time.
Yes.
Okay. And a lot of people, that's one of the excuses as to why they don't want to foster is because they already have kids.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, we don't want to bring a kid we don't know about into our kid's situation.
Right. And we had even said, well, we've never parented a teen, so we would rather not take a teen. And now I regret that. Like, we could have totally taken a teen.
Yeah.
Families that have done that have said it's fantastic.
Right, you've learned a lot over the years, and you're going to share that. But this is your family.
I know, we're so adorable.
Tell us who we have here.
Okay, so that is me and what I call my trophy husband, Brian. And
we all need one of those, Renee.
He's a good one. He stands next to me and looks pretty.
And I love it.
That's Simon, our oldest. Nina is 14, and that little munchkin in the middle, that is Andy. He was our first placement. We had no plans to adopt whatsoever.
Wait, is that the first baby that you got?
Yes.
That's the one that came to you?
Yes.
But you had 10 kids over 3 years.
Yes.
So you kept taking other foster kids,
ma'am.
but then raised this one.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God. Oh, look at that photo. That's amazing. You guys have a good time.
We do have a good time.
That's awesome.
And look, like I said, we had no plans to adopt. We already had 2 bio kids. We were just kind of the everybody should help if you can type. And that came to a screeching halt within 24 hours because we were like, oh my gosh, this adorable baby. Right. But that's not the point of foster care.
Exactly.
Right?
You said the point of foster care, the kids the kids aren't staying with you.
Correct.
You're supposed to be stability for these kids.
Correct.
But the foster care system is broken.
Oh, for sure.
And for sure, there's the worst advocate. Yeah. I mean, there's things that you have figured out along the way as to how we can retain foster parents, because half of foster parents quit
in year one.
And then another 25% quit in year 2. And you lived it, and you almost quit.
I mean, we quit after 3 years.
Yeah.
It was a lot. There's a lot of secondary trauma that goes on, and there are very few services for foster families.
And that's where we're going next, everybody. So don't go away. When we come back, we're going to talk about the resources. We'll be back. Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're hanging out with Renee Bernhard, yay, the founder and executive director of Foster Source, everybody. Foster Source provides training, resources, and support for foster parents. Now, Renee, you've walked through the process of being a foster parent, and there was so many holes and so many things wrong with the system that you were like, I got to fix this.
Totally.
Half of all foster parents leave after the first year. They quit.
Yes.
Another 25% in the second year.
Yes.
You were done after 3 years.
Yes.
10 kids in 3 years rolled through your house. Why are parents quitting?
Parents are quitting because...
I'm sorry, caregivers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Caregivers are quitting because it's different than they think it's going to be.
Right.
Everybody says, oh, you just need to love this child.
Love will conquer anything, Renee.
Love's not enough, my friend.
No, it's
Love
not.
is
These big arms aren't enough? Okay.
No. You need to have an understanding of early childhood trauma and what that looks like, because it actually presents as behavior.
Oh, okay. And that makes sense. We have learned that on this show a lot.
Sure.
Yes, right.
So what's presenting as behavior is actually a trauma response for a child. It's a child trying to process his or her trauma.
And the state, the county doesn't really give those kind of classes and support to caregivers?
So that's part of your training, but there's so much to learn when you train to be a foster parent. You know, you have to learn about how you have to lock up your medicines and, you know, all of those things.
That seems the basic stuff. You're saying there's a different level that you didn't get.
We really dig in to trauma parenting and how approaching a situation from a trauma-informed perspective can completely turn the situation around.
A little bit more empathy, probably, in how you handle the children coming to you.
Absolutely.
So you are one of the only agencies, foster sources, that actually helps pay bills. Help pay bills. You've done everything. Anything, classes, trauma classes. Yeah.
We do our classes. We do. Hey, we just took a sibling group of 5. We need bunk beds. We purchase the bunk beds, the mattresses, car seats, weighted items. A lot of kids in care have sensory needs. We do a lot of weighted items.
Okay, why do you do that and the county doesn't help with that? Like, they just drop the kid off at your doorstep and say good luck? Do they tell you anything about the kid?
They tell us what they can about the kid.
Right.
And hey, we had a great experience with Adams County. The counties are really doing the best that they can with the resources that they have.
How many kids are going through the foster system on any day?
10 to 12 are entering in Colorado every day.
Okay.
So anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 are in care on any given day in Colorado.
Wow, okay.
And of course, we're supposed to be using our stipend for those expenses, right?
Right.
Our $1.50 an hour.
That's what
we're supposed to be using that.
People always say that. Well, they get paid to take that kid in. How much do you make? That must be a lot of money.
It's about $36 a day.
$36 a day.
So most foster parents are like, woo!
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That really worked.
Definitely not a financial.
Cut that myth, everybody.
Yeah.
The foster parents aren't doing it for the money.
It's just too hard. Like, nobody would do this for the money. It's just too hard.
But that's why she's the worst advocate.
But please do it. You'll love it.
Please do it because you'll love it. But you know what? That is why when we were on the phone call and we were talking, everything she was saying was, I kept saying, Renee, you're not selling me on adoption and the foster system. And then you got into how much you love the children and the beauty of the children and the fact that it's not their fault they're there. It's the parents. Their parents have done something wrong. The kid hasn't done anything wrong.
Absolutely. No child is in foster care for something the child did.
Right.
Every child is in care because their parents need a little bit of help. And honestly, there's a lot of privilege we need to acknowledge in that as well.
Yes, because nobody lives like we live.
Nobody lives like we live.
No.
We have to acknowledge our race privilege, our wealth privilege, our education privilege, our street privilege.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge all that and realize that folks just need a little bit of help.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So when we come back, everybody, we're going to talk about the excuses we have and the fear we might have and why she's going to debunk all of it. We'll be back. Kathie J. Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. Kathie J. Welcome back to the show, everybody. So today we're learning about the foster care system here in Colorado from Renee Bernhard. She is the founder and executive director of Foster Source. Now, we were talking about there's 4,000 to 5,000 kids in the system right now on any given moment in Colorado.
Yes.
You wanted to mention the Families First Prevention Act.
The Family First Prevention Services Act is a federal law that went into effect last year in October. And it, what it does is it puts a lot of the child welfare funding onto the front end of a case. So we're helping the families in their own home so that hopefully we don't have to pull the kids at all into foster care.
How do you even find those in the first place? So they're already with the county or something?
Correct.
Like
the county's already involved, kind of helping them with some services.
Before we have to pull the child, we need to and what are you finding those services are the most of? That you're helping with where's the money going to those services?
So sometimes when we're helping a family in the home, we're helping with some therapy services, some parenting classes, maybe anger management classes. Just things to help stabilize and maintain that family.
Yes.
When that can't happen, then we're always looking for kin, right? Maybe mom and dad aren't safe, but grandma is.
Right.
And that's always our next choice.
Right.
And then if that doesn't work, into traditional foster care.
Okay. And so in traditional foster care, there's there's so much that happens in the foster care system, but it's really about those kids and us. People judge the kids in foster care. And and they assume that they're wrong, that they're that they're broken, and they might be
kids.
And they but they are so broken, but they're good kids, right?
They're amazing kids. And again, no kid is in foster care for anything they did, and the goal of foster care is always to get the child back home.
Yes.
But whatever happened to pull the child into care was trauma, and then removing the child into foster care, even to a warm, loving foster home, is another traumatization.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important that we try to keep that child there in that placement until permanency, whether it's returning home, adopting, etc. Because each move is another traumatization.
You're absolutely right. And the moves, even the moves to the foster care, have to be good. And with half of them quitting in the first year, you guys need to focus more on retention. Okay,
Absolutely.
And you said that you call it disrupt, right? When a foster parent has called and said, I can't do this. These kids are done. I'm done. Talk about that, disrupt.
So you give a 30-day notice when you want to disrupt, and you're telling the county, please find somewhere for these children to go in the next 30 days. And that's what we're trying to prevent.
You're right.
Because if we can keep those children there, I told you about our amazing single foster mom who the county was worried was headed towards disruption. And they said, we cannot lose her.
Right.
First of all, she's fantastic.
Right.
And second,
she just got burnt out, as all caregivers do.
Single caregiver, 2 kids. And we said, let us pay for her to talk to a therapist.
That's all it could take.
2 years later, she's adopted those 2 kids.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Good job.
It's just a small investment in the caregiver can make such a difference. And I think, a lot of times when we think foster care, kids think services for the kids, services for the kids. Absolutely, we need services for the kids.
Right, because you had just said they have trauma.
But if we pour a little bit into the caregiver, we can really make a lasting change. It's not fun. Wouldn't you rather buy a teddy bear for a kid?
Yeah,
of course.
right. But
instead of paying for a foster parent's therapy.
But if I know the foster parent's therapy is going to go a lot longer and keep them sane through the next process, because they need to. The purpose of foster care is you're providing stability for a kid that's in a crazy world, right?
Yes, and the county says, here, take this child, treat them as your own, love them as your own, and then 6 months later or a year later says, now give them back.
Yeah. That's hard.
It's like a death.
That is an excuse why people don't want to do that. I'll get too attached to the kid.
If you fear you will get too attached, you would be a fantastic foster parent. Then we're all foster parents. You're all going to be fantastic. That is the gift we give the child, is attaching to them.
But what about the fact that I have to leave, that the kid leaves? I mean, that is a hard thing.
Yeah, that's the gift you give them, is that you're willing to take on that grief in order to give them some stability and some permanency.
Look at these.
Look at those adorable Chuck and Sarah. Those are some of our favorite. Well, they're all our favorites.
Yeah, totally.
But just incredible.
Oh, incredible. Look at that photo. I chose that photo because the baby and the happiness in her face.
That's Eileen from my team. We do childcare at all of our events with an amazing nonprofit called Cobbled Streets. They come in and help us do these awesome activities for the kids.
Yes. You know what? It's really still about selling everybody on the fact that they can foster. You can foster everybody. So let's go through those excuses really fast.
Yes.
So I have kids in my house already.
Great.
Okay.
They already have somebody to play with.
Right. I don't want to raise a teenager.
Oh, but there's no diapers.
Right, that is true. But they come with their own attitude. They already have their.
They do, but they're really incredible kids. I think you'd be surprised.
Okay.
You'd be surprised.
Okay. And the last one is, I'm sorry, I forgot what it was.
Sometimes it's, I'm single. I live in an apartment.
Okay.
I'm divorced.
What about
I'm gay.
Yeah.
All fantastic foster parents.
Oh, they are?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
But you just have to be willing to take that on, and also you're going to give me classes to deal with the trauma of what I'm seeing the kid deal with, right?
We're going to give you classes. We're going to help you.
Coming out of nowhere.
Yes, we're going to help you with what you need. We're going to get you set up with a therapist right away.
The county doesn't provide all these services. You had to create an organization to do this.
Well, again, we're supposed to be doing it with our $1.50 an hour. Okay.
All right, I forgot. You guys are living in the money over here. I forgot.
But most importantly, too, we're going to connect you with other foster parents.
Yes.
So you can talk to them and really talk to someone who gets it.
Okay, yeah, no, and that's important too. You said when the foster, you didn't know that there were foster families in your neighborhood.
That's how we started Foster Source.
You did a next door neighbor, right?
Yeah, I was like, hey, are there any foster parents in the neighborhood? There were 20 of us.
What?
We started meeting at my house And we realized, we were like, oh my gosh, this is more fulfilling than the county trainings. Sorry, county.
No, you shouldn't apologize, because they're doing something wrong if half of caregivers are quitting in the first year.
And look, they're doing the best they can. It's hard. Foster parenting is very, very hard. It's the hardest job you'll ever be so glad that you did.
All right, well, when we come back, everybody, there is a Foster Source solution for all of this. We'll be back. But first, really fast, we got to do the Colorado Lottery Fun Fact of the Week. Did you know the overall odds of the winning Colorado Lotto now are 1 in 30? I'll take those odds. 1 in 30 of winning the Colorado Lotto. Play on, everybody. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Today we've been learning about the foster care system and what's broken with it and how we can fix it from foster care advocate, founder, and Foster Source foster mother. This is Renee Bernhard, everybody.
Woo!
Adoption mother. Okay, so Renee, you said something during the break, so true. Foster care system is broken.
Yes.
You can't fix it up here, though, like everyone tries to do.
We can't fix it up here. We can't. It's not. We're not going to change it with policy, with legislative change,
right?
Because that oftentimes doesn't even trickle down to us little foster parents or even caseworkers at the counties. I will die on this hill that we will change. We will change child welfare by going underneath and serving those living it and listening to those with lived experience, listening to foster parents, listening to birth parents, listening to adults who were in care as children.
Yes.
We often have that panel for our foster parents. Commissioner Chaz Tedesco from Adams County always sits on that panel.
Right.
He grew up in foster care.
Okay, so he knows.
So we need to listen to those instead of deciding what we think is best for them.
Oh, but that's what we do in America. People that don't live it love to make laws for other people.
Absolutely.
That's what we do here, Renee. Okay, so you know what, though? What I would say to that is, therefore, it's about retention.
We always,
and not recruitment.
Yes, there's always a big push for recruitment. You probably see signs.
Well, if you're losing half of families every year, you got to recruit.
Yes, there's signs all over the state. Be a foster parent. And we always say retention is recruitment.
Absolutely.
Right? If we poured a little more into our current families, we wouldn't have to be recruiting all the time. And then our families that we retain become more qualified and can take on those more challenging children.
Yes, absolutely.
Instead of them having to go to newbie
who has no idea,
foster parents.
Right, this child is acting out. I have no blood relation to him, so I have no empathy with them. I don't understand them. I'm sure that happens. Love can try, but it can't.
I tell you,
miscommunication.
When we were certifying, and it's embarrassing to say, but I worried, would I be able to love someone else's child as much as I love my own? It's the same. It is the exact same. I was like, my baby.
You started with a 28-day-old baby. That's easy. How old are the other kids that have come in that you've been able to love?
The oldest we've had was about 9 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's the same.
Yes. Yes. These are just children. They're just children, and they're wonderful, wonderful kids.
So then let's talk about what Foster Source has put together to help these kids, so you can help Foster Source help these kids, okay? So services.
Yeah, so we pour into the caregiver. We do trauma-informed trainings. We do support groups. We do relief services like, bunk beds, car seats, diapers.
Yeah, there you go. Is that a big food drive that you did?
That was a diaper drive through Homemade, which is a local organization here that challenges home builders to donate. And that's coming up again in July, actually. It's a great program, and we're one of the lucky recipients.
Is the information at fostersource.org?
It is.
Okay, good. Okay.
It is.
All right. So you have services. Then you also have therapeutic services.
We have therapeutic services. So we pay for therapy for the foster parent through and kinship parent through BetterHelp, a partnership with BetterHelp. And then we also have this incredible equine program with Groundwork Ranch. It's a 5-hour workshop. There's no riding involved, but caregivers learn how, if you regulate yourself, you can help the child regulate. Horses act a lot like traumatized children.
Oh,
they're always looking around and monitoring for their safety.
Wow.
And that's exactly like kids in care.
That's crazy. Okay. So, but you got to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you can help anybody, Renee. That's what we've learned on the Kathie J Show.
100%.
You can also donate money. You guys will take gift cards. But what about money? There's a program where you can donate $12 a month.
We do our monthly giving starting at $12 because between 10 and 12 kids enter care. We do a lot around the number 12.
I like that.
So you can do that. You can write me a check for 10, 20, 30,000 if you'd like.
I would love to.
We are not gala peeps, if you couldn't tell.
Right.
But every fall we stake plastic flamingos in people's yards and make them raise $12 per flamingo. And then once they do that for all 20 flamingos, they get to tell us whose yard it goes in next.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
So that's fun. But
and you also say that people can do like get together and help a special project for somebody, like families. You have foster families with grandmas that have 6 kids in her lap, and the house is falling apart.
Absolutely.
That's an awesome project.
We have a single foster parent right now that's just looking for someone to help him install some doors inside his home.
So
it's
simple.
just small things like that.
Excellent. Okay, so for more information, everybody, go to fostersource.org, and you can go there to donate money, volunteer. Like
Absolutely.
Those were all interns, right? Those were all
were my
volunteers
cute interns from MSU, yes.
Do you have anything final you want to say?
Thank you for having us.
That's perfect.
Thank you for having us.
Fostersource.org. Have a good day.
Kathie J.